On this episode of Travelogue, we'll journey to mystical HUANGSHAN. We'll enjoy some of the most spectacular mountain sceneries you'll find anywhere in the world. We'll sample some superb food and also take in the local culture. Hi, I'm James Lam and welcome to Travelogue. I've just arrived at HUANGSHAN City, a stone's throw away from HUANGSHAN, one of China's most stunningly beautiful mountains. I simply can't wait to get up there and see the amazing rock formations, the weird looking pine trees, and if I'm lucky, hopefully catch the sunrise and the sea of clouds. So sit back, relax and enjoy! HUANGSHAN City is located in East China and is easily accessible by road, rail and air. It's just a 2-hour flight south of Beijing. Tourists flock here all year round to take in the local culture and of course the breathtaking scenery at the UNESCO World Heritage listed HUANGSHAN mountain range. I'm just looking at a map of HUANGSHAN now. This is the mountain itself, and this is Tangkou. Basically, it's the closest town to HUANGSHAN, and we're going to base ourselves there this evening because it's a great way to, familiarize ourselves with the area and also maybe pick up some useful tips on climbing the mountain as well. You can hop into a cab or long-distance bus for the 65-kilometer trip from HUANGSHAN City to Tangkou. Conveniently located at the foot of the mountain, Tangkou is a great place to prepare yourself and get a good night's sleep before you hike up the mountain. There are plenty of places to stay here, from budget hostels for people like me to the high-end hotels for those with deeper pockets. So I've just arrived in Tangkou and I've got a map of HUANGSHAN here. A lot of the hostels here give information sessions on how to climb the mountain, and I'm going to join in now. Yunhailou is a hostel that provides climbers with a very handy service. At 6 o'clock every evening, they give a talk on how to tackle the mountain. Drop by and pick up a few tips on the best trails to take and what the weather conditions to expect. Also, don't be afraid to raise your hand if you have any questions. Chances are, you'll only be voicing something everyone else wanted to know. Oh, he's saying that the sunrise is 5 o'clock and 33 minutes. So 5:33 in the morning is when the sunrise is going to come up. Right, with all those mountaineering questions cleared up, now I'm ready for the hike. So I just got my ticket to get up to the entrance of the park. HUANGSHAN, here I come. These environmentally friendly buses take you up to the start of the mountain trail. They're a great idea, since allowing private cars to clog up the narrow roads would be a complete nightmare. Remember to come early because the line for the cable car can be quite long. You might think that I'm pretty lazy catching this cable car, but HUANGSHAN is really different to other mountains because all of the scenic attractions are at the top of the mountain and they're all a fair hike away from each other. So catching the cable car is definitely the way to go. A lot of people say this is the most beautiful mountain in China. Back in the past, it was called Yishan, meaning Black Mountain because of the dark cliffs and peaks. The name was changed to HUANGSHAN after Emperor Huangdi. Legend has it that he made an elixir of life here, which he took, and having achieved immortality, he then flew to heaven. It's also said that Huangshan presents a different face in each of the 4 seasons. So a lot of visitors come back at different times of the year to see the changes in its scenery. The people up ahead tell me they're going to see a very special resident of the mountain. I wonder who it is. Can you see this massive crowd behind me? They're all lining up to take their pictures with this tree, the Yingke Song. It's actually the most famous tree in Huangshan, and it's really become a symbol of China. In fact, people say that it's the most famous tree all over China. And whenever they come here, they need to have their pictures taken with this tree. Yingke Song means welcoming guest pine. See? Its branches are stretched out like a host, welcoming guests with open arms. It's been welcoming guests here for 1,000 years and has become a symbol of China. In China, pine trees are a symbol of longevity. Many emperors ate their pine nuts in the belief that they would prolong their life. I just discovered someone really interesting here. This bloke here, he's in charge of protecting this tree, and he's here 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, just looking after this tree.
我们银河松看护从83年起就有这在人看护了，而且从83年起就有日记，这是07年到09年的日记。
这写了什么内容啊？
这个主要记录的是每天的天气要素，比如说是晴天下雨，然后风力、气温、相对湿度，然后这个银河松的展示情况，然后我们做了缆车保护工作。
With its own personal bodyguard, the welcoming guest pine definitely hogs all the limelight. But there are loads of other trees that are worth a look. Pines are very slow growing, so slow that a tiny tree can turn out to be 100 years old. So keep your eyes peeled. Huangshan is a series of massive rocks like this. And the most astounding thing is you've got these pine trees, they're growing out of the cracks of the rocks all over the place. Huangshan has a grand total of 72 peaks rising above 1,000 meters. You know, this makes for some pretty impressive views. The sight of the dramatic cliffs can be particularly riveting. The rocks are remarkable too. Some have been sculpted by the elements over time to become so lifelike that legends have developed around them. See that peak up there? That's where my home on Huangshan is. I'm going to have to go down through here past Mr. Turtle and then down and then up. So I'm going to have to go through now. Hey, 你好，难不难啊？还可以了。还可以啊，哦，加油！快到了。对，快到了。哇，哇，你们还用手啊？不行了。不行啊？我实在不行了。慢慢来，慢慢来。手脚并用。你刚才这样走多长时间了？就从这儿。哦。我不敢往下看。She's been crawling up the mountain like this. 啊，给我看，给我看，教我怎么走。啊。像猫。啊，继续。没人下了。To be honest, the climb was absolutely exhausting. That said, it was a thoroughly exhilarating experience. For every painful step, you're rewarded with magnificent scenery. What I like is that whenever you get tired, you can just plonk yourself down on the steps and take in the amazing vistas. Look at that stone. Oh. 70-degree slope. I've just made it to the top. It's really windy up here. I'm just going to catch a sunset. So I've lapped up the peaceful sunset, and after our first big day, we find ourselves a place to stay at the top of the mountain from where we can catch the sunrise tomorrow morning. The moon's still up, the wind's blowing like crazy. Fingers crossed for our sunrise. We're at the top of the peak, waiting for the sunrise. As you can see, the wind is extremely strong. It's extraordinary. We have to bunker down and just wait. I have to tell you, I felt like I was in the middle of a cyclone. The crew and I had to hold on for our dear life while we waited for the sunrise. Although it was rough, it certainly added to the excitement of the moment. You just have to come here and experience for yourself. We've seen a lot so far, but there's still plenty to look forward to. There are so many hiking trails to explore and more scenic spots to visit. Time to put those legs to work again. We spent the whole of yesterday hiking through that peak over there. It's called Tiandufeng, and it's the steepest and most dangerous peak. And then we crawled up the Lotus Peak. Can you see it looks like a lotus? And then we went down there to the Aoyufeng, and that's where we enjoyed the beautiful sunset. And today, right here, we're at the Guangmingding, which is the third highest peak at HUANGSHAN. And in HUANGSHAN, it's really all about just mountaintop hopping like this. Where are you from?
From France,
France,
from Hong Kong, and that's my parents coming from south of France.
All right. So what do you think about this place?
Fantastique.
Oh, fantastic!
Amazing.
Oh.
J'ai jamais vu quelque chose d'aussi incroyable que ça.
Yeah.
Never seen something as amazing as today.
Right.
And as tip, it's absolutely crazy. You build.
It's hard work.
Something.
So you recommend it to your friends back home in France?
Est-ce que vous le recommanderiez à vos amis?
Ah oui.
Oh, oui.
Ah oui.
Yeah, merci, merci. Okay. Bon voyage.
Bonne journée.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Oh, this is incredible! And this stone right up here, it looks like it's flown in from the sky and landed on this platform. It's entirely independent from the platform below. You know, it looks like it's ready to topple over, but it's actually been standing here for tens of thousands of years. It's just astonishing. Wandering around here, you'll get plenty of surprises. You'll feel the amazing power of nature and be astonished by the timeless landscape. The feel of the mountain also changes along with the shifting light and the movement of the clouds. Of all the mountains I've seen, this is by far my favourite. Don't take my word for it though. Come and see it for yourself. I promise you, you'll hardly believe your eyes. After all that walking, my stomach is beginning to rumble. It's time for some local Huizhou taka. In case you're wondering, Huizhou is actually the ancient name of the region that is now largely covered by Huangshan city. I'm on my way to meeting an old friend who's promised to introduce me to excellent Huizhou cuisine. I can't wait.哎 ，Jason 你好，好久不见，不好意思迟到了，
等你半天了。
你最近还好吗？
很好，很好，你怎么样？
还好了，我挺好的。我听说你非常
是，你看看这一桌特意为你准备的，这个是在我们只有在黄山才能吃到的地道的徽菜。
看起来特别好吃，是有什么东西啊？
你看，比如说这个，这叫石鸡。
石鸡？
对，
是鸡肉的吗？
不是，它是一种蛙类。对比青蛙要大一些。再看看这个像什么？
有点像豆腐。
对，它就是豆腐。但是它有个奇怪的名字，毛豆腐。
毛豆腐，
长毛的豆腐。
为什么？毛在哪里啊？
没有毛，那是开玩笑。但这个是我们徽州人最地道的小吃。平时带在家里的煎着吃，非常非常的好。你
特别爱吃？
是，我们经常吃。哇，我知道有样这样菜要来了
啊！什么味儿啊？
什么样的味道？
什么味儿？
哇！我要隆重向你推荐这样的道菜。
天哪！是不是搞错了？
没有，我跟你说，这道菜是我们徽州的这个徽菜里面非常非常有名的一道菜。每一个来这里的客人，如果不吃这道菜，就没有到过徽州。
但是太臭了吧！这能吃吗？
当然能吃呀，你来试试看。
It's awful 。你真的要我吃这个东西吗？
真的很好吃，我骗你，我真的不骗你。
好，那我听你的。Not bad. It's actually tastier than it smells. It's a bit like durian. It stinks, but the taste, it's excellent. Very tender. Huizhou food's got such a fine reputation that it's counted amongst the 8 schools of famous Chinese cuisine. Now, Huizhou food is characterized by its strong aroma, saltiness, and the generous use of oil. It's also known for its attention to detail. Every single dish is immaculately presented. It's a feast for the eyes as well as the stomach. It's a hard life. Now, I'm off to do some more hard work for your enjoyment. After a long day of climbing Huangshan, I think the best way to unwind is definitely hot springs! I'm hopping in now. Woo. This is the best! I'm in heaven! This region abounds in natural hot springs. For me, taking a good, long soak was one of the most enjoyable experiences on this trip. It was also the more relaxing, being under the open sky and surrounded by all this greenery and natural beauty. So I'm at Tunxi Old Street, or Laojie. This place has been around for centuries, and you know, it's still as popular and as lively and prosperous as it was back then. Back in the day, Huizhou businessmen would come here to set up shop to sell their products like ink, tea, paper for calligraphy, and you can still find shops like those today. Let's go have a look. Once you're done with the mountain, don't be in a hurry to leave. Be sure to spend a while exploring the nooks and crannies of this old street. There are loads of old shops here where you can stock up on locally made produce and souvenirs. I followed my nose here. This place has a really strong, potent smell of Chinese medicine. It's not a tourist attraction, but it can be really handy if you do get sick. It's been here for over 100 years and the locals still come here to pick up all their Chinese medicine. It's wonderful to see that traditional Chinese medicine is still giving modern medicine a run for its money. This pharmacy has been here for 170 years. Its customers include both locals and visitors, all buying high-quality Chinese medicine for themselves or to take home for their families and friends. Hey, you know what this is? Nah, it's not a bathtub, but it's a massive Huizhou inkstone. Huizhou is extremely famous for producing all this stuff. Making liquid ink involves rubbing a solid ink stick into a little water on an inkstone. Now, inkstones are pretty important to Chinese culture. So important, in fact, that along with ink, paper and brush, they make up the 4 treasures of study. And since ancient times, Huizhou inkstones have been highly sought after. They're amongst the finest inkstones in China, and even considered pieces of art in their own right.
一般人都根据它天然的这些漂亮纹理来抢标的。
像这个东西一般需要多少钱啊？
价钱从几千、几万到几十万、几百万，甚至于几千万都有。
是吗？
是啊。
几千万也有啊？哇，真漂亮啊，老板！
怎样，不错哈？
是啊，
这是我们家的宝贝啊！
哎呦，感觉特别好。
这玩意他把800里黄山用燕雕语言全部给它浓缩在方寸之间。你看这个里有迎客松，有天然的天都酚，你看天都酚千分竞秀，全部是天然的。然后有梦蝶生花，这是黄山的一支巨笔啊。哦。对，还有日出。你看云海虚无缥缈的，
非常像，特别自然。
对，
哎呦，真漂亮。
还有天然的百花齐放这种感觉，你摸摸看。这你看是立体的，摸上去，温润如玉，非常的细腻。
So smooth。Looks like they're making candy. I want to go. 哎，你好，可以试试吗？可以试试吗？哎，可以。Wow, I've never seen people make candy this way. I'm gonna have a go. Those of you with a sweet tooth, beware. I suppose after the major workout you've had, you've more than earned the right to damage your teeth. Oh, it's really hard work. It's like going to the gym. 可以尝了吗？拿一个。尝一个。哇，很烫，很烫。It's really hot. It's really warm. It's warm, sticky, hot. It's like peanut toffee. Delicious. You have to give it a go when you're here. 好吃。 谢谢你啊。先生。As the sky gets darker, the old street gets even livelier. This is the time of the day when people come out to eat, shop, or just take a leisurely stroll. This place is jam-packed with things to do. You can probably see why I love Huangshan so much. You know, I'm in awe of the amazing rock formations and the splendid pine trees which seem to grow out of nowhere. And I've had an extraordinary time exploring the old street and picked up stuff to take home. I'm James Lamb. Thank you for watching Travelogue.